What's cracking? Welcome back to Blockchain Game with Barndog. I've got a bit of a different video, more of a talking head style video today. I've just done one recording and for whatever fucking reason it didn't work, so I've got to redo it again, and hopefully I make it as good as the last one. So what I want to talk about is safety with gaming, specifically safety with some of the concepts of crypto. You have to remember blockchain gaming, NFTs, all of this kind of stuff is crypto. Everything has risk associated to it. So you need to, sorry, just looking on the side here. You need to think about what kind of a gamer are you going to be? Are you going out to get expensive NFTs and try and flip them? Are you going to play a game? If you're not interested in the game, have you bought in at a cheap or a more expensive price? If you do an auction, let's have a look at Gamerplex here. The auctions were really different prices for these ones. Very first one, Backpacker Ben, went for 1.8 Sol. So at current prices, 130 bucks. Now, Box Beeman, I stopped at 4 Sol and that went to 10. 714 at current prices. Obviously, Sol boosted in the last 24 hours and hit all new time highs and stuff. It is pretty exciting. And that was led a lot, I believe, from the Degen Apes effect. NFTs coming in, the market changing a little bit. Yeah, really, really exciting times. But what you need to be looking at a lot of this kind of stuff is who is trying to sell you something. What are they trying to flog? Have they got a vested interest in giving you that information and that advice? People don't generally give out alpha advice. There's normally something attached, or they're trying to do their timeline. Me, I'm doing Solana games because that's what I enjoy. So hopefully I'll put it out there that I'm pretty out and honest. I'm going to show what I've bought. I'm not going to hide anything. I'm not trying to chase special releases, shit like that. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm putting skin on the table. I've shown what I've bought. I will with games and releases, and hopefully through some of them you'll see me doing bids and stuff like that. I bid on up to 3 of these. It was 2 a.m., had a crack, and they all went out of my price range or just got outbid once I went back to bed. So protect your money. Make sure you know what time events are happening, releases are happening, be logged in on time, have the right security, super important, be prepared. If you're doing things like auctions, don't let your emotions outbid you. Set a price, $700 on a boxer, that may not return. I was happy with 4 Sol, but that might not actually return the price in the end. So you've just got to be very careful. I do hope for the best for this. I'm looking at doing it. I did have an example today speaking to one of my mates, and we were discussing DeFi in Solana, and there's some things that he's a bit more uncomfortable doing. His risk level is different. Everybody's got a different risk level. Not everybody wants to spend hundreds of dollars on a game. There's going to be cheaper games out there, and this is what producers are going to need to work out for new games about having price entry points to accommodate. You can't be spending 700 bucks on a game. Otherwise, you might risk the game becoming early adopted, and that's super important. So I want to get into what led me to this video, and it was to do with So Life. So based off of not to do with So Life, it was to do with the fact that I've talked about a few programs and games, and then I started deep diving through these a little bit harder, a little bit more. Now I bought a baby card in this during the pre-release, and I've got the date wrong on my first record. I know that. There's been lots of retweets and stuff like that. Where are we? Was it August 8? Either way, it could have been somewhere around there. They were they burst out onto the scene, come out, did a righto special baby card, early release, $2.99, and then after that, it's always going to be $3.99. Then if you actually go through their Twitter, there's not a whole lot. It's mostly retweets. Let's have a quick look at their Discord. Now, this isn't going to be an overall rating of what I think, and people need to research this particular thing like anything else. Am I happy I bought the card? I'm okay with it. It's a risk. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be saying, well, okay, if I risk that, it might not make it. You can't trade the cards, even if you wanted to at the moment, but that will come in time, hopefully. They did have the tweet yesterday. Now, when I was looking at their Discord, this is what kind of set me off. There was no manager at the time. There was no one on. So I kind of looked at that and I thought, well, the Discord was just going rampant with, this game shit sort of stuff. We can be fickle. So once the community sticks the daggers in and stuff like that, they just keep sticking those daggers in. So you've got to be careful with that. You've got to make sure you've got someone monitoring your Discord. If you are a low load developers, then look at utilizing the public. Look at offering some kind of rewards to get moderators for it. A lot of other games have successfully done that and done rewards and all that kind of stuff. A lot of them are looking at hiring extra protocols. I'll use Great Protocol as an example, and using those to get resources from them. I'll get into that a little bit later. Now, that was the Twitter. Have a read through. Spend a bit of time. It is kind of interesting. Now let's have a quick look at the NFT. There's my little bronzer. I've got the shitty one. The stats are really different. I think the stats look too different to me for the different levels of the cards. Like the legends were up to double the stats. I don't know how that'll play out into the game, but I did read through this at the start, and I kind of thought it sounds like an intriguing concept of a game. They've got a life cycle where it was, I think, where is it? The game, every 3 hours, your character ages 1 year. Eventually, you can use the card in the following season and stuff like that. But what did concern me at the start as well was the card sales. I started at $2.99. Now, the price of the baby card is fixed at $3.99. Regardless of SOL on the market price. However, it is possible to make a purchase at a lower price during a discount and an early bird promotion. That means that's now 4 SOL. $280 to enter this game. That's going to restrict. They've got a limit of 10,000 babies, 5,000 each one, and it's not due out until next year. So they're not doing anything off their roadmap. They haven't put out an unachievable roadmap. They're not lagging in those particular things, but it was just interesting to see a project that I'd bought a card in. I've mentioned quickly in passing on another one, and then you go and have a look at their tweets and look a little bit further, and then you look at their Discord and go, there's just no one fucking talking, like it was just dead as fuck, and people were bagging it out and stuff like that. Let's compare that to, where is my Discord? Did a little bit of research on Ninja Protocol yesterday. I spent 6 hours on a bus as part of my travel to work, and I had a good little chat to Adadog, CEO there. He was really, really helpful. And I had a look, and these guys appear to be a sleeping giant in Discord. They've already got games. They're running poker events. They've got ninja coins. There's a little bit of history to that. And I spent a couple of hours looking at these guys, and it was really cool that Adadog spent time with me. And he's offered to have a chat to me later. I asked, and he said yes. And I thought, cool, that's promising. That is really, really cool. They've got different levels. They've got so many articles and stuff like that. And I knew nothing about these guys 2 days ago, and I think that's a part of it. They are a sleeping giant. They're trying to get a product out. That product is going to be only usable early on for the early ninjas. Now, that's a flip side of looking into it a bit harder and further, and, that was really impressive. So, where does this leave us? I do think that game developers, I'm hoping possibly there might be some watching this, if they're in a game and stuff like that, you need to start looking at your socials. Twitter is important. Discord is important. A couple of the other projects I've been having a look at for games on Solana are very, very paper thin. That might affect your game and the hype. Sure, a little bit of video footage is good, but you need to really make sure you're keeping those out. There are places out there like Great Protocol's got an AMA ticket at the moment, so that's for an AMA Ask Me Anything with Whale's Friend. They're normally booked out. That's why they're putting it on the market, but they've done 2 other tickets for video, and they were 30 to 60 seconds made to order. You pick the theme, the storyline, they'd make it, and see if you liked it. If not, they would tweak it. They're going to start planning on doing more for writers. They've got artists, they've got videographers, they've got people that will do NFTs. There's all kinds of stuff. So sticking to launch times is super important. I was impressed to see Keiju. They had their delays due to their not being 100% happy with their server. So what was meant to be tomorrow morning, they've delayed for 2 more days. And I'll have a look. I'll just link that. Where are we? Keiju. So countdown. You click on that, and it does open up that screen that I was linking. So now I've got a set time. I know exactly when it's going to be. And sticking to that time is awesome. Obviously, things like Degenerate Apes had a failed initial launch, and they were very open about it to the public, and it was awesome. Then they had a very successful launch, and they sold out 10,000 artwork in 8 minutes. That's just fucking amazing, and one of the reasons why we've had a Solana pump. So if you need help, try and find it. There is plenty of communities out there. There's audio launch platforms that can help. There are so many things. Don't just let the public talk smack. Yeah. If anybody has any ideas for a segment name, if you guys like that, please leave some information down the bottom. Throw out a couple of comments. I'm reading everything that's coming through. Thumbs up for a like. Yeah, and if there is anything in particular that you think that I could possibly study, have a look at, then by all means, please put that in the comments, and I'll try to do that. I'm going to try and do more often, even while I'm at work. I do want to do one little shout out before I go, and it was for the podcast. So UNQ Unk did a podcast, and can I click on it? How did I find this? I just did a search for the Unk podcast, but I listened to these today. The first one was 40 minutes. The next one was an hour and 20. They were really amazing. They got into some deep shit about gaming, about NFTs, about us looking after the market. And this is already a video I'd planned on making, but we need to be better. We need to make sure we're protecting our community and people. And yeah, I am super, super bullish. There's some cool games coming out. There's some cool stuff coming out. And hopefully I've done enough to sort of make people reassess. Don't just listen to the random shit that people talk, and, you know, think a little bit further. What are they trying to sell? What's their agenda? Are they just trying to help everyone? Are they trying to make money? Are they trying to make free shit? You know, there's all these kinds of things. Have a bit of a think about it, weigh it up. If you want to spend a couple $100 on a game, I've spent thousands on Star Atlas, but I think that was a no-brainer. I had one mate wouldn't spend $64 on a poster. Everyone's got different risk levels. But yeah, hope I've helped. Comments, likes, down the bottom, and thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.